Hey everybody, it's Ron Jackson. I'm live. What's going on? I'm just going to be practicing for you live. Now, just so you know, the best time to practice is to practice when you get up, I heard. So, I actually had a hard night sleeping last night. Went to the state fair, a state fair in New Jersey, and then I couldn't sleep, because I don't get around enough and walk around and stuff. I saw some cool things. But the thing is that one of my old teachers, Rufus Reed, said the best time to practice is to get up and do it first and get it out of the way. So let me show you a few banners here, and I appreciate you guys watching. And if you don't follow me or anything right now at the moment, please do so. And if you want to, get some free lessons and cool things, you can go to my website here, Ronnie Music Label, and check it out. So, for example, I don't know who's watching, but I have some great students from everywhere in the world. And the thing is, the first thing you do when you practice, you start picking up the guitar is you tune up. Make sure you're in tune. I see a lot of people, they pick up a guitar that I meet, students, etc., and they don't know how to even tune the guitar. So I use a Peterson tuner right here. See that? This is an old strobe clip tuner, they call it. It's the most accurate clip-on tuner you can buy. It's better than those snarks and other things people use that I see all the time. People want to save money, but you don't really save money. You get what you pay for. I always tell people that all the time. So I make sure I tune up my guitar when I do my first practice sessions. So actually, not only that, I tune the guitar up all the time, everybody. So it's important. So I've got to tune up. I practice the 7th string too, so I'm going to tune this up as well. So remember, when you start practicing for anything, gig, make sure you're perfectly in tune. So I'm going to tune this up right now. So we're going to look at some cool things. So we're going to look at some things I practice or used to practice a lot. And what's happening is I've been doing these live practice sessions, everybody, because what's happening is I don't practice enough like I'd like to. So I might as well practice in front of you and see some of the material I actually practice on gigs, for real gigs. But today I'm just going to practice for fun. Now, if you have any questions or comments, please send them to me right now. Okay? And I'm live right now, I think I'm not quite sure how many platforms. I'm live on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So let's look at these books I use sometimes for practice. Look at this, the Christopher Parkening Guitar Method, Volume 2. So I play a little classical guitar, everybody. So what I like to do is this. I like to take these books, this book. Let's take a look. Let's just take a look at some easy kind of pieces to look at. So look at this. Mastering the Fingerboard is one of these things. So if you look carefully at that lesson there, lesson in A minor. So when I'm reading this, first, it's finger style. I mean, I have to get my classical guitar. I actually have one hanging up. Let me show you. Let me get it. I probably have to tune it up. So I have a classical guitar right here. It's a 6 string. It has a humidifier. So it's a little out of tune, so make sure you tune it up. Okay. Now I'm going to try to read through this. I'm going to try to position the camera because I have the camera in front of the music too. But I want you guys to see my fingers as best you can, so I can play this piece. So I don't know this piece. I'm going to be sight reading. So this is a little out of tune. So let me tune up real quick with my tuner. Once you get the guitar in tune, try to match it. Play a chord. It's not bad. I haven't played this guitar in a while. I had a humidifier in it. I had this. Oops, sorry. I had this in here. Watch this. It hit that stand that flew over. So look at this. I have a humidifier in there, which was 2 sponges. That's a great trick, everybody. You want to humidify your guitar? Get a plastic bag, a zip, some kind of small Ziploc bag. This is a sandwich bag. Get some old sponges. I cut them up. Well, new sponges actually. You can wet them and then put them inside, poke holes in the bag and throw them inside your guitar. Okay? And they're great for humidifying your guitar. And I have so many guitars. Hey, my fan and hero, Mr. Rodney. How are you, Rod? Great to see you at the live practice session. And I'm just showing people how I practice. And the best time to practice is when you get up, as soon as you get up in the morning, so you get it out of the way. Just like my wife says, going to the gym. You get up early in the morning. First thing you do is get it out of the way. It's the same thing with guitar. So I just really woke up not too long ago because I had a hard time sleeping. So look, I'm going to play this lesson in A minor. Can you see it okay? Yeah. So let me move this over a little bit so I can see myself. See that? Let me bring it a little closer. So it's down there. So more sight reading practice. It says sight reading. So this says 2 second string. So there's no tabs. Then the first string. So it's like one good way to practice this, everybody, is just take a metronome. I'm going to get a metronome on my phone right now and just put it down real slow. Okay, let me show you. Metronome right now. M-E. Here we go. So I'm going to put it down to, I don't know. Nice and slow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope you can hear the guitar. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. Now I was sight reading that. I didn't play it. What I want to do is I'm going to try to play. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit here, so you can see my guitar a little bit better. Yeah, that's good. So I think I'm playing it a little too fast. I'm not playing it fast. Actually, I have it on 59. If you look carefully. Okay. Let me hide this comment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down maybe a couple of clicks. Oops. Let me bring it back up. Let me bring it up to 56. Now this tempo is going to be hard to play. 57. That's hard to play at that tempo. Slow tempos are harder to play then. So let's do it again. And it's hard to read and play live and do it in front of people. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So repeat. So now look at this. There's an anticipation up here, so I don't know why they have the repeat here. Oh, you know what? This is 1, 2, 3. So this bar actually has 3 beats. I just noticed. So I'm sight reading. I didn't even know that. So I'm going to do it from the top again, and I'm going to hit beat 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Open string. Now second string. Top again. Second string. Pull off. I'm reading now. Okay, so look at this. I played this pretty good now. Sight reading. Now the second part, yeah, I want to show you that. Oh, yeah, Rodney's asking me a question. Is that a classical book? Yes, I'll show you. This is the, I have both volumes of this book. This is the Christopher Parkening book. That's page 35. I want to remember that. The Christopher Parkening Guitar Method, Volume 2. Now, Christopher Parkening, I don't even know what happened to this guy, but he was he's a great guitar player that was, endorsed by Andre Segovia. And I have a couple of his books. One of my students had one of his books years ago that I had a student. So I think he gave me an extra one. Then I don't know how I got this book, but I have all these books, just all kinds of classical books. So this is a classical guitar book. So I have to go back to page 35 now. So this is a great little book. It's good for me just to practice. I'm not a classical guitar player, but I have studied classical guitar, everybody. So look. So this is like this is a sight reading practice exercise too, it says right here. So I'm sight reading for you guys. Now, I'm doing a practice session. I need to practice my reading all the time. And I read without tabs. So let me see if I can get this over here a little bit. Turn this way. Oh. So look at this. I'm looking at the music and I have the phone actually, watching the music for you. So watch this. So this one is tricky. I got to hear I'm reading this, sight reading. Let me do without the metronome. Slow. Pull off. I'm here. Now it's a lot of notes there. Then I gotta hit this open. That was tricky. Now I gotta hit this with my second finger. Now here, repeat. Now open string. Now it says second finger. Now I'm not sure where it wants me to play that. I'm here. I think that I gotta go this way. Then open. So you see that this finger rings are specific too. They want you to play that 1, 3, and 2, which I usually do. Now it wants me to hit that with my second finger, the A note and this A note open. So you can do that arpeggio. I can play that hold that note for 3 beats and play these notes on the bottom like a bass. So you see how I'm practicing that, everybody? So remember, I'm just doing a practice session. Remember, I practice things I cannot do or I need to work on. So right now I'm doing sight reading out of a classical book written by Christopher Parkening. If you haven't been here before, he's a great, I don't know what happened to him, but he was a great classical guitar player endorsed by Andre Segovia. So I have a couple of his books. You know, I studied classical guitar a little bit. So let me see. I studied with a student of mine who studied jazz with me, and we switched, and I learned classical. I really wanted to get some classical training for my, particularly for my, you know, picking up for my strumming picking hand, which is my right hand. And if you have any questions, please ask me. My friend here, Rodney, who asked, "Is this a classical guitar?" He's one of my fans, and he's gotten my shirts. You can go to my website. You can go right now to the links on the live stream. Get your own 6-string Guitar Heroes T-shirts, books, CDs. I have all kinds of stuff, everybody. I have a book from Acoustic Guitar Magazine called Chords at Your Fingertips. We write the same kind of material, but I do for different kinds of things, more like modern, you know, jazz stuff. Things like that. I have some books out. This book's about chord melody, which we're going to work on next. I like to practice doing chord melody songs I don't know. So you can pick this book up on my website. Just go to my links on my description here, wherever you're watching, or just follow me everywhere, or subscribe to me if you don't right now. And if you're enjoying this, please, you know, I accept super chats if you're learning something new, and if you want to get me some coffee or anything, there's my my PayPal links, everything on top of there. Okay, so look, let me play the whole piece for you real quick. So I want to make sure I play this a little better. I'm gonna do it without the metronome this time. So I'm gonna do it slow and like not really fast, so I can play it correctly. 1, 2, 3. Let me just make sure you see that. Okay. Let me move this over a little bit. This way. There. See that? See, okay, I gotta see better myself now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. got a little tricky. I didn't play perfect, because I noticed a couple things I wasn't doing correctly. When I came back from here in this part, you have to play that E string on the second string. So there's no tabs. So when you're reading sheet music that has no tabs, you got to look at the circles with the numbers. Circles with the numbers mean that you're playing. This is the string you're supposed to be playing these notes on. So this is a second string E, which is here. So when I play that first note, it goes 3, 4, 1. It's not open. It's this. So what I really love about playing classical music? It's so beautiful to play, and I really enjoy soothing music. It's challenging, and it's fun. To me, practicing is supposed to be fun as well, but also you're supposed to be learning and doing things that you don't know how to do. And it's, so whenever I practice these types of things, I have to tweak it. Like, this was tricky right here. I couldn't figure out what I was doing sometimes, so you have to play this measure right here. You have to go. Then it says second finger. Then I gotta go fourth finger. So I think I'm playing down the whole string from the C note, all my fourth finger, like that. And then you gotta play all this stuff on the bottom. Watch this. Like this. Watch this. That's tricky. Then. No. That's tricky. So that part was really tricky to me. Watch this. Oops, sorry. Can you see okay? Yeah, that's better. A little bit better. Watch this. From here. Oh, sorry. Now that, so I have to hit my first finger there and my third finger here at this part. D sharp and E, B to an A. See that? And then the A minor chord with no bass. So when I'm playing these, everybody, just so you know. Oh, yeah, Rodney's asking me, my great friend and fan Rodney, who's actually a patron on Patreon, everybody. I want to show you that banner real quick. If you join my Patreon for a year, you get a free half-hour lesson. That's a $75 value, just so you know. So watch this. So Rodney's asking me if there's any good books on sight reading. I want to show you that book in a minute. So this book is good. If you want to learn classical, a lot of these easy classical books are really good for your sight reading, but there's no notation. I mean, there's no tabs. Remember, most professional guitar players, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everybody. Actually, most guitar players, even some great guitar players, can't read, but some of the really, really good ones that are like amazing, like Steve Vai, for example, he can read anything, that guy, and playing all kinds of stuff, man. So, I mean, I was following Steve Vai when I was in college, and he was already, I write for a magazine. Like, I have an article right now in Acoustic Guitar Magazine. So he used to, it's out right now in the July, August issue, and here I am. Take a look at this. So it's one of my lessons, but when we write these lessons, we write in notation and tabs. When I was in college, so this Acoustic Guitar July issue that I'm in, so Steve Vai, when I was in college at Berkeley, he was writing for Guitar Player Magazine already, all kinds of crazy exercises, and he was transcribing and writing all this notation that I can't even read at all now. Back then, so he's a really amazing musician guys, and who plays rock and all that stuff, and he plays everything actually. So he can read, he can notate, he can transcribe. He's just an amazing guy. I really respect this guy. But I've been following him since I was in college, and I don't really play rock at all like that. And my setup is so completely different. I'm a jazz guy. He plays thin strings, to me, thin nines. But I've used 14s on my guitar. Different kinds of things are a little different from everybody. So when he's reading, he can read anything, but he also notates everything in tabs, because tabs are good. You know why? Because it tells you where to play the note. Because there's so many ways to play the same note. Like this E string can be played here, and this note can be played here. This note can be played here. See that? all the same note, different places. So if he wants you to play that note up there, you have to write the tabs. But he would not. He knows how to write the notation and the rhythms, which is the hardest thing, the writing the rhythms. And he knows his rhythm inside out, Steve Vai. And rhythm is actually the most important thing. So that's a good practice warm up for classical. This book goes through all kinds of stuff here. Oops, no, I hit the camera. So look at this. It has all these fancier pieces that are like much more difficult. That it says more work with slurs. So this is a good book. If you want to work on your reading, and your classical chops. So like I don't use classical technique at all with my right hand, my picking hand. I just use basically just my fingers with no skin, no fingernail, nothing. But I used to study that method a little bit. I used to use lute technique, like different angles and stuff like that. But most of the time, I don't even use that stuff anymore. I just play my own style. I use hybrid picking, um, economy picking, sweep picking, alternate picking. Economy picking is actually a combination of all those together. And I use hybrid, and I use finger picking. So hybrid is actually when I play with a pick and use my other fingers that are not being used. So let me see something. Oh yes, Steve Vai plays 7 string too. Yes. So everybody. So for example, let me show you this. Show this book. That's a great comment, Rodney. Let me put this guitar down. I got so many guitars. I don't want to hit this guitar over. So watch this. So now let me show you a book that's really good for your rhythms that I work on. It's called Melodic Rhythms for Guitar by I had that book out to practice today. Now this book is a really good book for your rhythms. It basically starts off, and also for reading, sight reading, excuse me. The William Levitt books, I brought that book out today. These books are really good for you to get your reading together. And that's the book that they used when I was at Berkeley and when Steve Vai was there. And all these great guitar players that come from there. So, it's a good book. It teaches you it's the opposite of the classical book, which is a certain method. They have certain scales. Okay, so that you play, but in this book you play all your different kinds of scales that cover the whole fingerboard across. So if you look at this book, it teaches you how to play your scales. I have my 7 string. Let me put that away for a second. So it teaches you your scales, everything up and down the neck in a modern way. Let me put this down a little bit so you can see me a little bit better, everybody. So what happens is, in the classical kind of method, they actually limit you with scale usage. So if I'm playing a C, let's say a C major scale, watch this. Now, in classical, the classical C major scale goes like this. Now that's really limiting. That's the classical C major, and this is the classical G. Now, if you want to get these scales and learn them, just go to my website, ronjacksonmusic.com, and I have them written out. You can pick up a copy for yourself. So it goes like this. That's the classical C major scale. First, it's only 2 octaves, and it's only that area. But in the William Levitt book, they teaches you over the whole neck. I have this on my YouTube already. See how? See how I'm going up the neck? It's a good warm up. I'm connecting all the C major scales. I'm connecting. Nope. So I have the colorway here. play those scales. You can find that on my website as well, everybody. If you want to get all those fingerings that connect up and down the fingerboard, all the major scales. Now, the thing is, I've talked to people about this already. The most important thing is that you actually learn all these scales in every key, because it makes no sense to learn it in just one key. I'm in the key of C, but I do this in every key, just like the cage system. Like a lot of people talk about the cage system about learning chords. They go, well, this is a C chord, this is the A form, caged, G form, E form, D form, C form. Back to the top, cage system. But that doesn't make any sense if you don't practice it in every key. So this is the key of F, E form, D form, F, D form, okay, C form, A form, G form, and back to E. Now do the key of B flat, A form, G form, E form, D form, C form, A form, key of A flat, E flat, sorry. Started here. D form, E form, A form, G form, E form, D form. So you have to do the same thing with your scales, everybody. You have to really know the neck. But the reason why I know my neck is because I practice a lot. But also because I play jazz, because we do that automatically anyway. We have to learn things in all kinds of keys and crazy stuff. So it's important to practice your scales, your everything in different areas. So this book is really good for this. And it's called A Modern Method for Guitar. The only drawback about this book is if you start learning this method, and I had someone mention this to me, is that if you learn a method, all these guitarists learn the same method, they kind of sound the same. So the most important thing is learn it, but try to be yourself and don't play the exact voicings that he uses. Play them your own way. Remember, this is just a method, but you have to still be yourself when you're practicing these types of things. So, so that's a great book for all kinds of things, for your sight reading. So there's a lot of sight reading exercises in here. Let's take a look at one. I'm just pulling to any page. So I'm at page, oh, that's not even far in the book. Let me pick a harder one. Let me go way back in the book. So this book is 3 volumes altogether, everybody. So what I like to do is I just like to look through the book. There's all kinds of stuff I cannot do in here that I should know how to do. So they have, all kinds of things. Melodization of the subdominant major chords. All kinds of stuff I need to practice. Like we all need to practice. And I always practice things I can't do. All kinds of charts about how chord progressions work in melodic minor. I need to work on this actually. Now, all this stuff, everybody, if you want to learn how to play jazz, doesn't mean anything. Because you don't have to know all this stuff to play jazz. So I'm a jazz musician. So look at this. There's all kinds of stuff in this book. So let's pick one sight reading thing that I can play for you. That's like here's a sight reading thing. I've never seen this before. Because I never got that far in this book. It's like a method book. But I practice it sometimes and try to get through some stuff. So look at this. Oh, this is kind of easy. It's A minor. It's kind of like the classical piece I just saw. Let's see if I can sight read it. It's in 3. So now this is pick style more. So look at this. It's telling you to play this open, and it's telling you to play this. Playing the A open, and then the E, first finger, and the C, third finger. C, fourth finger. So watch this. That means he wants you to play, instead of playing it like this, which I would think if I was sight reading, but with a pick, you can't really do that. You can, but what I do is I can do it. See that? But I have to mute the string in between, which is the G string. He wants you to play it like this, which is kind of interesting. So you have to look. When you're reading notation, everybody, you have to look at turning the guitar again. Remember, stay in tune. If you're not in tune, you don't sound good. You think you sound good, but you don't. I can tell when someone's out of tune, especially me. And I get really pissed if I record or play live and I hear a recording of me. So I always tune the guitar. So watch this. And someone said, don't keep your tuner on your guitar neck like this. I saw that on a YouTube video. So let me put this someplace so I can find it at least. So watch this. So I'm going to play through this piece. I'm going to sight read this. It's in 3. So I see this, the key of C. When you're reading, you look at the key signatures. So there's no sharps or flats. That makes it much easier. And it's in 3/4, so that means three beats per measure, and the quarter note gets each beat. Okay, and then so if it says 4 means a quarter note. If it says 2 means half note, for example. If it says 8, eighth note. Now P means piano, which is soft, and that's called dynamic marking. So when you're reading, you have to know all this stuff. I mean, if you want to learn how to read, which most guitar players are very bad at, So and I'm pretty good, but I could always I could always read better if I could somehow. But the problem is, the guys who are the best readers are the piano players and horn players in general, because that's what they do in the very beginning. They read, read, read. Guitar players could just pick it up and just start playing tunes. Hey, man! They start playing anything. They don't know how to read, though. So this is what happens now. So let me play that for you. 1, I'm going to be sight reading. 2, 1, 2, 3. So watch it. I messed up already. 1, 2, 3, 1. Now that's tricky. Now back to here. Now 7th position. Now this is tricky. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I think you play it here. 7th position. I'm playing that wrong. So now, I'm supposed to be playing that someplace else. It's supposed to be here. Now, what's that last chord? That was tricky. Oh, nightmare. Are you playing first time guitar? Yes, Hunter, I'm playing guitar first time. Very first time. I'm actually sight reading this piece right here, and I'm practicing. So that means when I practice, so everybody, just so you know, when you practice, you're not supposed to sound great. You're supposed to sound like you're practicing. So when you practice, what you have to do is practice things you can't do. So when I'm practicing, I'm always doing things I cannot do. Now, if you're practicing things you're good at, then you're not practicing. So that's, yes, I'm playing this for the first time, that piece, Hunter. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, this is the first time I'm playing guitar, Hunter. So, first day. So now I'm tuning the guitar up. So what I did was, everybody, let me stop showing that. Is that I was reading through this, and I was sight reading. So what's happening is, when you sight read, this is not really easy. It seems like it's easy, but it's not. So what I did was, first he told me to play these notes through the. It says slowly and with piano. So I have to still figure out what am I playing here? How am I playing it? So he wants you to play this with on the third string like this. And then the next thing is this. That's how he wants you to play. I was playing it wrong. So what I have to do is, this is all on the fourth string, this note, these notes in the middle. Okay, so since I'm sight reading, and he wants me to use a specific fingering, 1 to 1, and then 4 to 2. So I don't know this song at all. To me it sounds cool. It's a weird sounding song, but whatever. I'm just reading. Now he wants you to go. So that's playing it the right way. Now, if I'm sight reading, it's different because I don't really know a song, so I have to just try to wing it. Now, this is a 7th position here. And then it goes. So that's tricky. So I have to go like this. Now I'm going to go here. Now he's telling me to play that with my second and third finger, so I have to play it here like this. It's kind of weird. Now watch this. Oh. So that's, see, now when I'm playing all these types of exercises, everybody, what's happening is this. I kind of know what chords he's playing, even though there's no chord symbols. So I know this is an A minor. So you have to kind of take that in consideration when you become a professional musician and there's no chords and something is written out. You have to kind of know what the chords are. Usually I can tell better when I'm playing it too. So I know that this is an A minor of some sort. Watch this. It's an A minor chord. It has A, E, and C, which is basically an A minor chord. A, C, E. And then it becomes an A minor with a raised 5. And then it goes A minor with a major 7. Oh, that's tricky. Major 7, and then flat 7. See that? It's kind of dissonant song. And then same thing here. Now when I get here, these chords here, that's like an E7 chord. Then that's an A minor chord with a raised 5. This is an A minor. No, this is an E chord right here with an A in the bass, like this. Okay, it has a suspended now. Then this is a B minor 7 flat 5. Now this is a diminished chord that can be altered actually. So that's a diminished chord. So I see these chords and I know what they are and how they're written out. So you have to kind of, and you have to be able to name everything that you're playing. You should know what you're playing exactly. Then here it's tricky. Look at this. A. That's a weird chord. That's almost like A minor with a 9, 7. Then that's a G over an A note, okay, which is like a suspended. And then it goes. Now that's weird. No. So I played that wrong. That's a B, G, and a C sharp, which is like a A dominant 9. Actually, yeah, with a 13. Then D minor, 6, and then B minor 7 flat 5 with a 9. Then this is A minor with a sharp 5. No, now this chord right here. Okay, really interesting, kind of weird song. But it's a solo an etude in this book right here called A Modern Method for Guitar in 3 volumes that I have. Okay, this is the 3rd volume, page 31. Okay, and this is what they use for the performance method at Berklee College of Music. Okay, and it's just a dissonant, weird song, but it's cool. I like it. It starts to grow on you a little bit, huh? So that's how one of the things I learned how to read this book. Okay, and there's so many things here. So he'll have you do these exercises and using scales that you're supposed to be able to play on certain chords, like A harmonic minor on E7. So you learn your chord scales, different kinds of things. You know, E harmonic minor here, C major, D harmonic minor, just so you work on different patterns. So you should be able to do single line practicing too, everybody. So I've never seen this one, boy. This is like an exercise. Now, I don't think he tells you what position to play this, but this is like this. Now this one is. So I just did that one. Now he uses a different scale here, the E harmonic minor. He uses them on these dominant 7 flat 9 chords, which is common to use when you're approaching a minor chord. Now in this case, this goes to an A minor, but here this goes back to the C. So you can use E harmonic minor as well on that chord. Okay. So remember So what I'm doing is I'm playing through the E harmonic minor scale, but he's using that on a non-diatonic dominant 7 flat 9 chord, which you can use actually a harmonic minor scale in jazz. Okay, so these are advanced concepts. Oh, someone's asking me a question. That's a great question. How long would it take a beginner intermediate guitarist to complete each book in the Levitt series? I think it would take like a year. I mean, I never finished these books because I wasn't a guitar major at Berklee. I was a composition major, but you can complete this book actually if you're fast. You could complete these books very quickly if you want to. I don't know if you retain the information. That's the whole thing. You can go to college and study all this stuff and get a degree and still not know what you're doing. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's more experience to me that's really important. So when I'm playing through these books, I'm just playing like I'm just like learning new. I'm actually just reviewing things I already know, and it's important. Like the reason why I'm practicing in front of you, everybody, is right now is because I don't practice enough. Like so, recently, people have been really interested about seeing me practice and see how I practice. So I just practice things I can't do. So I'm reading through this, and then I'm learning new things all the time. When you practice, especially things you don't know, you're learning stuff all the time. And that's the most important thing. Okay, but that's a great question. So I would say about a year to Hama. It takes a while to learn these types of things. So let me continue. Let me read through this a little bit. So these are just harmonic minor concepts, how to use them. It tells you too, chord scale relationships are a result of altered forced or preceding scale sound by the actual construction of the chord itself. So when you do some of these chord scales, it depends on what chord you're going back to as well. That's what he's basically saying. So if I played a B7 flat 9 and I went to E minor, I could play a different scale. But just so you know, on this kind of chord, since I'm a jazz musician, I know a lot of different scales I can play on these kind of chords. But he's only playing harmonic minor. I could play a melodic minor bass scale called altered. I could play diminished. I could play whole tone. I mean, just so many different scales. Okay, I could play chromatic. I mean, it depends what you know. So these types of harmonic things can be interpreted different ways. So, for example, let me play that. He does a C major scale, then he does B harmonic minor. I mean E harmonic minor here. This second one. Watch this. Then he does E harmonic minor. Watch this. Oh, so that's right. Sorry, I did it wrong. Oh yeah. Now that's tricky. When I went down here, you gotta go. Let me play that slow. So now, when he gets to the D9, he's playing a D dominant scale. So it's kind of weird. He says G major, but I don't like thinking like that because you're playing over a D9, which is a D dominant 7th. He's playing a D dominant scale. It's actually a G major scale, obviously, starting on D. But when you're playing jazz, I would think more of the chord you're playing on. So when I'm playing these types of things, you kind of have to know how to play the harmonic minor on these kind of chords, I know automatically that's a D harmonic minor on the A7. On the B7, I know it's an E harmonic. But it's good to brush up on these types of things and know what you're doing. Now he says here, C real melodic minor. That means that's a melodic minor scale, C melodic minor. So here's a C major scale. It's very easy to play a melodic minor scale. Let me take this off for a second. This is a C melodic minor scale. Here's a C major scale. A C melodic minor is just a C major scale or any major scale with a lower third. So it's good to practice this all over the fingerboard too. See, I didn't even warm up today, really. I just started doing the live stream. So everybody, I'm just going through the William Levitt book here. And if there's any questions, please ask me. And if you have any more questions, please do ask me. Also, if you're enjoying this live stream, please remember to subscribe to me at Ron Jackson Music, or follow me everywhere at Ron Jackson Music. If you want to come see one of my shows, please let me know. I perform all the time. I had a bunch of shows in New York City last week. My next show in public will be at the Django at the Roxy Hotel in New York City on Saturday, July 13th, with a great young jazz trio that I have with me. It's on 7-string guitar and bass and drums. So let me show you my 7-string kind of work that I do now and what I do with chord melody. So look at this. So these are good. This is a good book. These books are really good for practicing. And we were talking about sight reading. I forgot to mention that this book, the same guy that wrote that book, did this book called Melodic Rhythms for Guitar. Now, this is a really good book for your rhythms. So remember, when I'm reading, everybody, I'm not completely comfortable in general with what I'm reading. So it's good for me to look at these kind of things. And I'm not even comfortable by myself. Just imagine doing this stuff in front of a live audience like you guys. Okay? You see there's another comment here? Hey, you're welcome, Tuhama. If you want to study with me or get some cool lessons pretty cheap or free, go to my Patreon, everybody, which is this one right here. And you could join my Patreon, and you get a lot of free lessons about jazz improvisation, all kinds of different great things right there. You get the sheet music and tabs that go with it, not just plain sheet music. Because here, this is just sheet music. But in general, I have all my stuff is written out with tabs and everything. Just like my article here in Acoustic Guitar Magazine. So if you want to go check out some cool stuff, I have a new lesson in this month's issue. Yeah, it's in July, August issue. It's almost July. They always release it about a month early. On Acoustic Guitar Magazine, it's about playing the blues and developing it into jazz blues. It's called, they call it Dress Up Your Blues. Okay? And there I am. Check it out. And we write everything in tabs and in notation, so you have that, okay? Let me see that. Hey, Rodney's Patreon page is awesome. Lots of content. Thank you, Rod. Rod, thanks. I really appreciate you, Rod. You're a great, great, great patron, student, fan, and friend. And I'll give a big shout out to Rod. Let me show that comment right now. Thanks, Rod. I really appreciate you. Yeah. So when I do these live streams, everybody, it's just I show you stuff. But these are books you could just pick up. But all the material that I actually teach my students is on my Patreon and on my website at ronjacksonmusic.com. And if you join the Patreon, you get this stuff pretty cheap, like almost free, for the price. So look at this. Look at this. So I'm going to be reading this. This is a 2-pager, I think. So I'm just sight reading for fun. I don't want to block the camera. Yeah, thank you, Rodney, for your big endorsement. I appreciate it. So that's my Patreon. You can join that. Look at this. So let me see if I can make this a little better. I don't want to hit the camera. So what's happening is, this is the 2 pages, this one. And so if you look carefully, I do this a lot. I miss the key signature. So I put a little reel up, or actually a short on YouTube about learning about key signatures. So when you go to the beginning of a song, you should always look at this. This has 4 flats, so I automatically, and I memorized this already, that the key has 4 flats is the key of A flat. So it's important to look at the key signature before you even start playing, and then the time signature. So then I might just practice my A flat major scale. So A flat major scale has 4 flats: B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. So I just maybe warm up. I'll just warm up a little bit. I'm not even warmed up actually, everybody. So do your cage system chords to warm up. See what I did? Okay, and then start reading. So this one, it doesn't tell you where to play these notes. So I'll just start right here. This is easiest. Now it says in 3/4, so I might pull out my metronome again. Remember I had my metronome earlier? I'll pull my metronome out and start seriously trying to play this in 3/4. So let me get my metronome out. I'm going to set it to 3/4. Oops, I have it in 6 right now. So let me put it to 3/4. So like this. And I'll put it like tempo di lerno. That means slow tempo. So let me see. I'll put it maybe 60 to make it easy on myself. And because I'm sight reading, everybody. So I'll read this part right here for you guys. I'll go to the first and second ending and sight read it for you. 2, 3, 1. Let me turn the metronome up a little bit. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1. So look, that's tricky. There's a lot of syncopations here, but I was reading through that. I did it almost perfect. So you got to go to the next part. So it gets trickier. So what he does these little things here in the beginning. We have these different kinds of rhythm groupings. And it's really funny because I've had this book for years and years and years. I don't know. I got this book from a student, and they gave me this brand new book. Like, they had an extra copy. So it's this book called Melodic Rhythms for Guitar by William Levitt. If you really want to work on your rhythms, okay. So you can do these rhythm groupings and warm up, and then he throws them in these songs. So let me start from here. Let me see if you can see part of that song. I might have to zoom out a little bit. That's the rest of it. I'll play it for you a little bit now. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 1. 3, 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2 and 3. So what I did was, if you notice, I was counting, everybody, when I was playing this. And what's really confusing when you're reading? You have to count. It's very important to count. I learned that from a drummer. So what I was doing is, when I was playing these notes, I'm starting to. If I start reading the notes without counting, I don't play them as accurate. I noticed I wasn't doing that today, so I have to think about it a lot. So I'm going to count out loud now all the eighth notes I'm playing and the quarter notes. And I learned that from studying with a drum teacher during the pandemic. A great drummer who's actually on YouTube. You check him out. His name is Jay Finishel. And now he has a lot of followers, man. Like, much more than I do on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything. And he was doing pretty good before that. But his method really caught on, his videos. Check this out. So if I'm counting this, I'll go 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. So I can see at the eighth note. So if I'm singing that out loud while I'm playing, I'll play from here. 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 2 and 3 and 1. I messed up there. 3, 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. So what's happening is, I messed up a couple times because I'm trying to sing out loud and play, but when I'm thinking, drummers think like that subconsciously. So I'm singing out loud, but in my head, that keeps me on time where the beat is, where the 1, 2, 3 is, etc. Let me see. Thanks, Rod. And if you have any questions, everybody, let me know. I'm gonna go a little bit longer and practice for you. I'm gonna try this one now. This is in 3/4. This is in the key of D. So no, the next thing I didn't do for you guys is I didn't play the chords for you. So you have to be able to play through the chords too. Let's play through the chords a little bit. So let me play that. 1, 2, 2. So what I did was I just strummed 3 beats per measure. You see that? And if you look carefully, this is on beat 1 and then 2 and 3. This is beat 1, 2, and then actually this is written on the end of 3, excuse me. So I didn't play that quite accurately. Oh, but this might be on B3, but so you got to make sure you be able to you play through the chords correctly on time when you're changing them, and sight read the chords too. So let me go from this part of the song to here. Ready? 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, D flat. The most important thing is that I hear that I lock in with that metronome better. Okay? Do you play chords and melody at the same time with these exercises? I could. Oh yeah, that's a great question. So I'm gonna go on a little bit longer. So if I'm sight reading this stuff, I was gonna try to show you guys this today. We've been doing a lot of reading and stuff today when I practice. But if you look carefully here, everybody, so you should be able to make this into chord melody somehow. So if I'll do it without the metronome. So if I'm playing a melody like this. Now, here's the problem with that, everybody. That's kind of low on the guitar. So if I play now you should be able to make a chord melody out of these type of songs when you're reading. The problem is, that's my one of my specialties is chord melody. So if you want to learn how to do this as chord melody, this is too low on the guitar. Let's use a 7-string like I have over here, which I haven't touched my 7-string yet today. So just so you guys know, I play both 6 and 7-string guitar. So, but if I want to play that like a chord melody, I have to play that up an octave. So you have to learn how to read up an octave. So I'll go like this. First, I'll play that melody. So then you have to learn what's that note against the chord. So that's an that's an E flat or against an A flat 6 chord. So that's the 5th. A flat C is a 3rd, which is the 3rd note in the scale, and then the 5th. This is the arpeggio. So it starts off like this, and then I can analyze each note. But here's what happened. So I just harmonized that. You see that? And I'm very good at sight harmonizing because I know all my intervals and chords and everything. So, remember I'm practicing, so I'm doing this, but everything I'm doing today I've never played before. Just so you guys know, everything. I mean, I have this book for years. Doesn't mean I played everything in the book. So, and I haven't gone through all these books, even though I have them. But I'm going through right in front of you right now. So watch this. So what I did is these are all A flat 6 chords I did with different kinds of these are all different kinds of intervals of the chords. So I'm playing the E flat on the top, and then the inversion. Excuse me. And then here. See, I did that, and then I'll play this part. Now it has a, and then a flat 9 here, so I gotta go A flat 7, and then I'm gonna go to this melody note. Oh no. Then it goes to here. So that's diminished, D diminished. Then I'm gonna go play from here. Watch this. And then oh. So what I did was I just harmonized every melody note where I possibly could. So I've been doing this for years and years. So you have to know how the melody is against the chord. You have to know your chord scales to be able to do this automatically like I'm doing. That's a whole lesson, everybody. So I'm just sight reading this and making it to chord melody. So let me try this section again. And if I get, if I had time, I could make it even more fancy, but I'm just sight reading. So here, start from here. 2, 3, 1. Oh, goes up and up and up and down. So you know what? So that's a great question. Great question. So I was just harmonizing that. So I can actually do that here too. Watch this. If I go here, I'm going to do this in key of D. I'm sight reading this, everybody. So I can go like this. 3. Oh. Oh. I messed up there. Then here. Now here's an A note in the bass. Here. Oh. Oh. suspended. Now suspended. Oh yeah, this note. Now how am I going to play that? So that's a G note on the A flat. So I put the sharp 5 there. Augmented. I got to do. And then I'm going to be back here. Now then it goes here. E minor 7 flat 5 with a B flat in the bass. Oh shoot. So I'm sight melody reading this whole thing right now. It's not easy actually, because for example, some of these voicings, if I'm playing an A7 augmented with a raised 5, and there's a G on top, it would be that chord actually. Now this is kind of easy because this is diatonic. Now, this is a very common progression in jazz too. This goes down and goes down to the 4 chord, okay? So 1 chord to the 4 chord, it leads to that chord. It's kind of like bird blues, like Blues for Alice kind of chord changes. So I recognize when you're trying to sight read all this stuff, everybody, and you're practicing and you're looking at new material, a lot of the progressions are the same. So what I would do is just make sure that you recognize these things when you're playing and you use them as I don't want to say shortcut, but you should know what you're actually doing. And if you hear a new chord progression, if you hear a chord progression that sounds the same as another one, then you should actually know that it's that chord progression from experience. So I see a lot of these same kind of common things. This isn't an old book in a way, but you know, it's old, but it's still an original composition. And one thing I like about Berkeley is that everything the Berkeley method of guitar playing, this book here that I'm using, Melodic Methods for Guitar, William Levitt wrote everything, the guy who wrote this book, everything was original music, so you can't fake it. Because when you're reading, a lot of guitar players can't read because they use their ears too much. And what happens is when you use your ears too much, and you see something and you look at some music that you know is a song, you're not reading. So he has these songs that I have no idea what these songs are, and that's why it's good to practice these out of these books. Practice tunes you don't know because you're not really reading if you know the song. You know what I mean? So it happens a lot that people look at these books and they can't read them because they don't know what the song is at all. They have no idea how to read notation or only tabs. So this book has no tabs at all. And you should know how to play music without tabs. And you should be able to add tabs as like a guide for people the way you want to play a melody. Like if I want to go like this, I could do like this. That's 2 different ways. I did it 3 different ways. So tabs tells you where you play the notes, but if you get tabs and you don't know the song at all, you won't be able to play it because you don't even know, because you won't know the rhythms or anything of the way it sounds. So it's just a bunch of notes on a piece of paper. So music and tabs can go together. And so a lot of my pieces on my website have all the tabs and sheet music put together, and the tabs are written out. So I have you play the fingerings that I want you to, and the way where I want you to play, not the way you want to play it. So it's good. Both are good, and tabs have existed for centuries actually, but they usually come with music, so you know what you're doing. Because back in the 1800s or 1700s, they didn't have digital recorders or 8-track tapes or anything to record with, so you had to kind of use those systems. So I was practicing for you guys. I have some things to do today. I just woke up, and the best time to practice is when you wake up, because that's how you get it out of the way, everybody. And it's great to have you guys. Please, if you enjoyed this, thank you. Thank you, everybody. So if you enjoyed this, please follow me right now at Ron Jackson Music. I'm going to do these live practice sessions all the time. When I'm practicing, everybody, I'm really practicing. I'm practicing things I can't do, and that's what you're supposed to do. When you practice, it's not supposed to sound great. You're practicing. That's how you get better. If you're practicing things and you sound great, you're playing the same scale every time, you're not going to get any better. You're playing the same chord progression every time, you're not going to get any better. The best thing to do is practice things you can't do. I'm looking at sight reading music right now. I don't even know this song, but I'll take it and go, let me see, I'll play, so this key of G, let me see if I can chord melody it. I'm just sight reading this. So it sounds pretty good because I'm a professional, but I'm still reading. So when I'm reading this stuff and I'm practicing, I'm still trying to make it sound good as best I can, but it's still, I don't feel comfortable because I don't know the song. I'm just reading. So that's what you do when you sight read. You got to sit there and read everything. Oh, let me see. Rodney, great advice, Ron. Thanks for the advice. Oh, yeah. So, you know what? Just so you know, everybody, always practice things you don't know, but also you still got to review things that you haven't played in a long time. So you can't just, because, you know, like, let's say I haven't played Donna Lee. You know, whatever. Any song. I haven't played Donna Lee in a while, so obviously I'm not going to just go into a gig and say, hey, man, let's play Donna Lee. And I haven't played it in 2 years. I'll review it. So what I'll do is I'll just review the song until I get it back to speed, you know. And remember, I do play 7-string guitar. I'll pull that out. So when I'm playing 7-string guitar, everybody, it's tricky to go between back and forth. Oh, let me see. Wow, what scales do you recommend practicing? So, just so you know, Mr. Natural, I'm gonna put this in the comments. Just go to my website, ronjacksonmusic.com. I have scales there you can get. But I just put it up right up there in the comments. So the scales you should know first: a major, melodic minor, harmonic minor, diminished, whole tone, chromatic. There are so many scales to practice, everybody. It's just everything, and I have a lot of those written out on my website. You can pick up a copy if you want. RonnieMusicLabel.com or RonJacksonMusic.com. So look, so when I'm playing, like, I was just practicing on 6-string today, everybody. But you have to be able to practice on any instrument. So what I'm doing is, I'm actually on this guitar I have reverb. The other one had no effects at all, because I have it at 2 different channels on my Fender twin reverb amp over here. So when I'm practicing, everybody, I practice for 7-string as well. So I'll try to do the same things I do here on the 7-string. So these are things I don't know, like these songs. So the good thing about the 7-string is you can play lower register. Like this song, the notes down here. So I can play that low now because I'm playing a 7-string guitar, everybody. The amp is reverberating a little bit. So, but what I would do normally, that melody is low, if I want to do chord melody, but if I'm just sight reading the melody, I would just read it here. key is C. Now, I would take that melody. If I want to do chord melody, I would go on the 7th string. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Ah! So what I did was, I was doing chord melody and sight reading the melody. So that's a skill that I've been working on for years, and I'm kind of that's what I'm kind of known for too. So you know, you should be able to do that if you're a guitar player. Be able to play chords and the melody on top. I'm doing it. I'm sight reading and doing this right now. I don't even know this song. This is just a book that I've had sitting in my shelf called Melodic Rhythms for Guitar. So this is how I practice, everybody. I'm practicing things that I cannot do. So it's important that you do the same thing. Don't practice the same old thing that you practice. The minor pentatonic, whatever you might be playing. You know, expand your horizons. Practice things you can't do. Work on sight reading. Work on chord voicings. Get a good guitar teacher. I learned this because I studied with, I've been studying on and off for years and years and years with different guys like Pat Martino, Melvin Sparks, Mike Stern, Bucky Pizzarelli. Oh man, who else? Ted Dunbar. There's some teachers I regret not studying with. So it's important to do these types of things. I've been on for quite a while, everybody, practicing for about an hour and a half and explaining what I do. And I do this on 6 and 7 string guitar. And it's good to do this because you know what? It's good to practice in front of you. And you guys actually learn what I practice and how a pro does this. We use a metronome. We use different kinds of books. I mean, this is not even everything I do. I mean, if I have a recording, I have to learn how to transcribe it. I know how to write it out. I use Sibelius as music notation software. I might do something about that one day too. I have my computer in front so you can see how I actually do music notation when I'm writing songs out on my computer. For example, there's some different things I'd like to do that are into. Yeah, so Mr. Natural says he loves jazz solos. So check out my recordings, everybody. I have about 5 albums out. No, I have 10 albums. So this is my latest one. Check out my merch on my website. If you enjoyed what you heard, you can go to my super chat and grab me some coffee if you want, and I'll show you where that is. Or you can go to my PayPal, etc. and check out, you can go to PayPal at Ron Jackson Music or Venmo if you want to donate to help me get lunch or coffee. But I appreciate you guys watching. You can watch the rerun of this. I'm going to leave this up for you guys to watch to see how I practice. This, no edits in this at all. I'm actually practicing live in front of you. Mistakes and all. Because when you practice, you're not supposed to sound good. You know? I mean, of course, you're supposed to eventually sound good, but if you're just practicing something you don't know at all, how are you going to sound perfect? Because you're learning it. That's what you practice. You practice to learn and get better. And then you go on stage. You don't practice on stage. You play on stage. Remember that. Practice at home, play on stage, because you're not supposed to be practicing on stage. I have students who practice their guitar licks, 7 string, 6 string, jazz improv, and they go on stage and they start practicing on stage. You don't do that. You play. When I play on stage, I have a completely different mindset. I just play, and I play from the heart, and I play things I know, etc., and that I rehearsed and practice at home. You understand? So thank you everybody for watching. You're a great audience, and I'll see you guys soon. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Follow my live streams, everything else. It was great having all these people watch me today. Watch my live stream, and I appreciate everybody. Remember to follow me everywhere at Ron Jackson Music. Subscribe, hit the bell, so whenever I got a new video up, you get a new video sent to you. And we'll talk, everybody. It was a pleasure and an honor. And thanks so much. And we'll talk soon, everybody. Okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.